Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content I've been putting up, be sure to subscribe so you always know when a new video pops up. Now that we got that part out of the way, let's get into the video. Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea, but may not have time to experience it all firsthand. This time, we're covering the story of the hunt for the Cardinal Virtue Lamitt during the Healer Role Questline. In the Crystarium, a dwarf named Giott is hunting a powerful sin eater, and she needs a healer, something that you just so happen to be pretty good at. While she's sure your confidence in your abilities isn't misplaced, she'd rather test your skills before she teams up with you. The creature she's after is strong, and she'd rather not find out you bought a level skip off the Mog Station and don't even know what your buttons do during a boss fight, so she takes you to Lakeland to give your skills a trial run. The only way to test the skills of a healer is to give them something to heal, so Giott picks out a large monster and screams out a few choice insults at it before letting it beat her senseless. With that brilliant plan, she may as well have taken you to fight the Sin Eater, because if you sucked at your job, the beast would have killed her just the same. But you bring it down and heal her up well enough, so she decides to bring you on as a partner. And to celebrate, she heads to the Crystarium to get a few drinks, something she does a lot. Back in the Crystarium, Giott drinks to celebrate the birth of your new partnership, and since you aren't useless, it's time to explain the mission. The Sin Eater she's after is one of the Cardinal Virtues called Sophrosine. The virtues are all Sin Eaters formed from the bodies of the Warriors of Light from the first, and Sophrosine is the virtue formed from the Dwarf Lamitt. The Council of Elders don't want the disgraced dwarf walking around, reminding people of how she tarnished their reputations, so they gave Giott the task of dealing with her. Even in life, Lamitt had never upheld dwarven traditions, going around with her face uncovered and such. I'm sure you already figured this out, but if you haven't, the dwarves of the first are just Lalafell who keep their faces hidden from outsiders by wearing these bearded helmets. Showing your face to someone who's not related to you goes against all of their traditions, and is looked at as dishonorable to all dwarves. Giott is strong enough to deal with Lamitt on her own, but the Sin Eater keeps healing itself, which makes killing it a bit rough. Not only that, it keeps resurrecting other Sin Eaters, which is why Giott needed a healer. Your knowledge of healing magic should help you counter Lamitt's powers. After a great many drinks, I swear I got alcohol poisoning just by talking to her, she decides that getting you to see Lamitt use her powers will help you figure out a way to deal with them. She's heard that Lamitt's been seen in Kalusia, so she decides that the two of you should go to a pub in Stilltide to see if anyone's seen anything useful. She probably just wants another drink, which she does get as soon as you get there. However, she does find out that quite a few Sin Eaters have been turning up near Brightcliff. The plan is to go and kill a few Sin Eaters to see if Lamitt will show up and revive them. The plan works, and the former dwarf shows up and revives the Sin Eaters you killed. When your eyes lock on the virtue, the echo shows you the moment Lamitt and Ardbert first met. He had fought a pack of hobgoblins, and while he had won, he had taken some bad wounds. With her healing skills, she managed to fix him up, but she nearly kills him herself when he mistakes her for a boy. In all fairness, the beards do make it hard to tell with dwarves. I thought Giott was a boy until someone called her, so I can relate with Ardbert on this one. Despite that little mishap, the two of them become quite the team. When you wake back up in the present, Giott is throwing some colorful insults at you trying to wake you up. The echo is going to get you killed one day. Fortunately, all Lamitt did after she revived the Sin Eaters was float off. Giott has no idea where she went, but she wants to know what happened to you before you plan your next move. Hearing about your strange powers makes the dwarf excited, although she's shocked to hear that Lamitt was wearing a helmet when she first left home, and she had saved an adventurer, something that would have improved the image of the dwarven people, not dishonored them like she had heard. There's a lot to ponder, but it'll be better to do it over some drinks, so it's back to the Crystarium you go. Even though you caught a glimpse of Lamitt's magic, it did little to help you come up with a way to counter it, but Giott hadn't expected you to figure out how to deal with the Sin Eater that fast anyway. She figures you may get an idea while you work your magic elsewhere, so you head off to do your own thing for a while she does hers. And by that I mean she orders more drinks. While your exploits do little to help you come up with an idea on how to stop Lamitt, Giott has another idea of her own. She wants to see what happens when you try to heal a Sin Eater. She doesn't expect it to work, but learning why it doesn't work for you when it does for Lamitt should give you a bit of insight into how the Fallen Dwarf's magic works and how to counter it. The idea is pretty brilliant, to be honest, and the two of you head to Mort Soup to run your tests. The two of you take out a few Sin Eaters, and you try out your magic on one of the ones that Giott didn't crush so badly that it was hardly recognizable. Dwarf can definitely fight, I'll give her that. The healing does absolutely nothing, just like you expected, mainly because Sin Eaters aren't alive in the traditional sense. They are lifeless husks, made mobile only by the light ether that flows through them, and healing magic doesn't work on dead any more than it works on robots. Which brings up the question of what kind of magic is Lamitt using that heals Sin Eaters. Another question is, why didn't she come to revive the ones you just took down? It's like her targets are very specific, which brings up the question of what makes her choose which Sin Eaters to heal and which ones to leave to rot. Between all of the thinking and fighting, Giott gets thirsty, which means it's time for another visit to her favorite bar in the Crystarium, and hopefully a trip to an AA meeting because she really does have a problem. However, she does figure things out when she drinks, so whatever works, I guess. And sure enough, Giott's escapades bear fruit, although she does spill some liquor in the cabinet of curiosity and more bans her for life. While that sucks, she did find out that Lamitt was seen last in Raktika Greatwood, which means if you kill a few Sin Eaters there, she should appear again. That way you and Giott can actually see how you do fighting her. Giott's fought her on her own before, but having you there with her will help her come up with some new strategies for the contest, even though you can't kill her as long as she keeps healing. Not surprisingly, Giott is a big fan of the people in Slitherbow, mainly because of the wine they make. They told her that Lamitt was seen in the east, so you head out into the forest and smash a few Sin Eaters to draw her out. She indeed shows up, but strangely enough she only heals one of the Sin Eaters that you took down, while leaving the other one where it was. You pummel the revived eater, but Lamitt simply heals it again. Trying a new tactic, you fight Lamitt herself while Giott faces off against the lesser Sin Eater. You take her down, but it's only temporary. She resurrects herself, and at the worst possible time, the echo draws you into Lamitt's past. You see Lamitt, Ardbert, Silva, and Render Ray facing down the guardian of a Ronkan temple. They bring down the creature, and you find out that Lamitt was hunting down a very special healing magic known only to the Ronkan people. The magic is given to her in the form of a crystal, and with it, she believes that she can save her sister. When you wake back up, Giott gives you some advice that you should really take. While your ability to see into the past is cool, it's probably better to do it when you're not in the middle of a fight. Lucky for you, she was able to drive Lamitt off while keeping you alive. At least you did learn that the reason Lamitt's magic is different from yours likely has something to do with what she got from the Ronkan ruins. However, Giott thinks it's best that the two of you discuss things over a strong drink. She also thinks it's a good idea to check her village's records to see if they have any information on Lamitt's sister, and she plans on finding out a bit more about those Ronkan ruins to hopefully find out what powers Lamitt found there, as well as a way to counter them. And that's where we're going to stop for now. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of the story.